Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here again with another first listen review. And I wasn't originally had any intention of talking or babbling, I should say, about this one, but I didn't actually know this was coming out till this morning, so when I heard about it, I decided I'm going to get it, and just got done listening to it. It's kind of late in the day, so this is way later than I normally do this, but I really wanted to give this a good listen, and I was kind of like really intrigued about it because I'm talking about Mark Farner and his brand new album, the first one in 18 years, called Closer to My Home. If anybody is familiar with Mark Farner, who was the lead singer and guitarist of Grand Funk Railroad, and Closer to Home was the subtitle, I guess. I'm Your Captain was the name of the song, but with the little parentheses there of Closer to Home, or Close to My Home, I should say. You'll know the title of the album, you'll recognize that, which I guess makes sense. For people who have wondered what he's been up to, well, not a whole heck of a lot as far as recording goes, but I guess, this is what he's done here now. It's actually produced by Mark Slaughter, who was the singer of Vinnie Vincent Invasion and the band Slaughter. I actually got to hang out with Mark here quite a few years ago. He's like super cool dude. One of those days I'll never forget. Super cool guy. So working with him, I'm sure was great. So it kind of intrigued me to hear this too when I found out he was the one that produced it. I really wanted to check this out because, quite honestly, I have not listened to Grand Funk in forever, which is odd because when I was young and just getting into music and just starting to collect records and whatever, I remember getting the Grand Funk Railroad Closer to Home, and I remember just having the record of it. I can't remember exactly where I got it. I think it was at a garage sale or something, or somebody gave me a bunch of records. I had that one. I had one other one that I can't remember, and those were the first two I got, and it didn't even have a cover. I remember making my own cover for it out of another album that I hated. Took paper and I drew a picture and I put it all on the album cover, made my own. However, I don't even remember where I got the picture from it, but I kind of drew what I thought was kind of close. And I actually really liked that album. I bought several more after that, and for whatever reason, I've just kind of grown away from listening to them and haven't paid any attention to them in a very long time. So when I saw this was happening, I'm like, all right, I'm going to check that out and see what's going on. So I'm glad I did. Only 9 songs, but he actually re-records I'm Your Captain, Closer to Home. Is it called I'm Your Captain? Yeah, on here it says I'm Your Captain, Closer to Home. I keep saying Closer to My Home because that's the name of the album here. I'm confusing myself, so I apologize. But anyway, so I popped it in, first listen. It's a good album, don't get me wrong. I actually really enjoyed this album. The first thing I noticed was the mix of it was really odd, and I know I've complained about that and other stuff, and people have told me I don't hear it, I don't hear the problem. I can't help it. I hear what I hear. Pop it on. The drums were just really loud, the vocals were really loud, everything else is a little bit subdued. That's all I can say about it. That's what I hear when I'm listening to it. So it kind of stayed that way for the whole thing. Some people may like that, some people may not. I didn't. After I got settled in and realized that's just the way it is, it was fine. But at first listen, came across as a little bit jarring. But the songs are good, so it kind of kicks into like they're mid-tempo rockers. There's nothing that's super rock on here. He pretty much sticks to that the Grand Funk sound. He doesn't really stray from that. So I knew what I was in for pretty much from the start anyway, but I just really wanted to hear this. And the third song on your Same Game was actually co-written by Mark Slaughter, and I thought that one was actually a really good song. I thought that was really good. Facade, I also thought was probably one of the better ones. When it got to track number 5, Oh Darlin', that one, probably one of the weaker tracks on here. It was okay. It wasn't, when you hear it's like 4 really good ones in a row and then that one came on, I found that to be the weakest one on here. But then it kicked right back in with a song called Real, which I thought was actually a really, really good song. Unfortunately, there's one clunker. For me, it was the song Surveilling Us, and I don't know, man. I was actually I hate to say it, so I was actually laughing at one point because of just how horrible the verse was. I hate to say that because the rest of this album is like really good, but that one did not do it for me. But then it went into a nice little acoustic number after that called Tiny Fingers. I assume it's about one of his kids or something. I don't really know, but it's kind of what I got from it. I was driving around listening to this one, which I don't normally do. So if anybody has a better insight to what that song's actually about, feel free to let me know. I could be off on that one. But then it ends with I'm Your Captain, Closer to Home. And, I was kind of looking, what was going on with this one. I guess when he recorded this album, he's a very, earthy type guy. He likes to be in tune with, nature and stuff like that. And he said that most, tuning for guitars is at 440 hertz. And when he did this album, he wanted to record it at 432, I guess, because that just seems to be a more natural, soothing tone. And so that's what he did. He wanted to record this whole album that way, and that song he just felt would sound better that way. And quite honestly, I really enjoyed this re-recording of it. I don't normally enjoy that type of stuff. It's one of those songs that does go on quite a bit at the very end. That didn't change. It's still like 9 minutes and change running time. But I already knew that from the start. I've heard the song many, many times, but he wasn't lying. I actually agree with him. It just sounded a little bit more soothing. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, it was a good way to end the album. I'm glad, he redid that one. I don't normally like that type of stuff, but I actually enjoyed this one. So overall, enjoyed it. Just one I didn't really like. There's one that was okay. The rest of them were really good. I actually enjoyed them. Being that it was a 9-minute song, I'm not going to complain the fact there's only 9 songs because the one is pretty long. So it was a normal length album. I think it was like 44 minutes. So nothing to complain about there. Oh yeah, actually, I take that back because I got the bonus one here. It does have the extra track in there, Friends Forever, which I actually forgot about. Just kind of looking at it again here. And that one, as soon as it kicked in and it started playing, I was like, I've heard this song before. And then once it started playing, I was like, oh yeah, that's on that Jim Peterick album, or Peterick, however you pronounce his name. I can't really remember, but he just had an album came out called Shoots and Loots, or Hoots and Goots, Magoots. I don't know what it was called, but anyway, I remember hearing it on that album. When they kind of did a duet on that one, him and Jim, and I remember I did a review of this album too. And it's funny, I can't think what the name of it really is. Shoots and Boots, Cats and Boots. I can't remember what the name of it is now, but anyway, I remember making the comment that I thought the lyrics were a little corny. Now, I don't want to they actually I like his version of it on here better. I like the way he did it by himself. Just sounded more natural. Maybe that was the recording of the different tuning on it. I don't know, but I didn't mind it as much. It actually had a better feel to it for me on this one. The words didn't get under my skin quite as much. It's still not really my taste, but I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who really enjoy the song. I had a few people comment that they really like that song on that review too. We all have different tastes. That one, those lyrically, just I found to be a little bit but on here it sat much better, and it fit in, I think, better with Mark's lyric writing and his just overall vibe. So anyway, I'm going on way longer than I intended on this thing, but I'm really glad I got it. I'm really glad I heard about this. I didn't know it was coming out. I think more people should hear about this one. It's kind of like why I'm doing the review, because actually, other than the one song, I think it's a really good album, and that's that. So anyway, feel free to share your comments if you heard this or any other cool stories about Mark or anything I'm leaving off, because this is what it's all about, just talking about the music. That's about it. We all have different ways of viewing it, but it's really fun to talk about, I think. So like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because I hope he does some more of this. He is, 75 now, so I really hope he's got some more in him. I'd love to hear more stuff, because I actually really did enjoy this. So like I said, and until next time, we'll see ya.